One of the most discussed video game characters throughout this decade has been, funnily enough, Waluigi. This discussion on him ranges from internet memes to players rallying so that the character gets into Super Smash Bros. This surprises me as, not long ago, Waluigi was brought up when discussing not just the worst Mario characters, but the worst in the medium period. Why has the gaming community changed their minds on him? Improved opinions on unpopular characters aren't anything new, yet Waluigi has become so popular that he's achieved a sort of cult status. Well, hopefully today I can shed some light as to how not only he gained his following, but how disliked characters in general can receive similar popularity. I'm not going to recap the entire history of Waluigi's inception, as several videos have done this already, including one by Digino Gaming, but to summarise, Nintendo and Camelot wanted another human character in the roster for Mario Tennis, and the one they created ended up being a doubles partner to Wario. This allowed for an opportunity for a pun, as partnering with Wario meant that Nintendo could reuse the term Warui in the character's name, which is Japanese for evil. Because the character was also a doppelganger to Luigi, Nintendo could refer to him by a name which pretty much boils down to Bad Luigi. Why am I telling you this seemingly pointless trivia? Because I believe that the joke worked better in Japan than it did overseas, which explains the cold shoulder Western audiences gave to Waluigi back in the day. It worked better there as Luigi's name in Japan is Ruigi, allowing Waluigi to flow better as it wasn't too much of a departure from Warui. With the rest of the world though, the name just feels like a lame stretch to fit with Wario. That name was at least able to work on both sides of the globe, as the Japanese could have a bad Mario joke, while the West would appreciate the idea of flipping the M in Mario's name upside down. While a wittier name might have helped Waluigi's reception a little bit, it certainly didn't change the fact that many felt that he was a filler character, with Henry Gilbert stating in a Lost Games Raider interview that the developers had hit the bottom of the barrel. While I can't confirm what goes on with Nintendo, I'm going to assume that this lukewarm reception to Waluigi is why he's typically delegated to spin-off titles, and hasn't appeared in the mainline entry. Waluigi seemed to be forgotten by many throughout most of the 2000s, with the main form of buzz from the media about him during that time being his inclusion as an assist trophy in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Though with Brawl came numerous satirical outlets centred around the game, the most notable of these was the webcomic Brawl in the Family. On April Fool's Day of 2009, the issue put out was a humorous takeover performed by Waluigi where he became the leading character over Kirby. Two well-remembered sections of that issue included a panel where Waluigi shouted, "Too bad, Waluigi time," in response to a query made about expecting a colour comic, and the repeated use of the phrase, "Wah!" throughout the takeover. Fans of the webcomic loved it, prompting the authors to include him several more times throughout the series' tenure. This ironic enjoyment of the character obtained from the comic is widely considered to be one of the many reasons why Waluigi has achieved meme status in recent years. Another reason why fans have become so taken with him might come back to the point stated earlier about the lack of major appearances he's made outside of spin-off titles. This odd lust to have Waluigi in a mainline entry can actually be traced back to when Mario 64 was remade for the Nintendo DS. During the game's release period, it was commonplace for people to spread rumours stating that Waluigi was a hidden playable character in the game, no doubt because Wario was already included. The most well-known of these rumours was a surprisingly realistic satirical flyer made by the DeviantArt user King Bowser Cooper. Sometimes this longing even extended to requests for a game centred around the character, not unlike with Silver by some of the less mature members of the Sonic community. The demand continues to this day, as can be seen with the backlash towards his absence from the main roster in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In addition to the fanbase gained through these two factors, various Waluigi-related media respawned on the internet throughout this decade, such as the various Ask blogs centred around him on Tumblr. While I've provided some key examples regarding Waluigi's ironic fandom and how he obtained it, the question I'm interested in is why this happens with specific characters. Why is it that, over time, previously reviled characters become celebrated memes? A notorious example of a character who gained this reputation other than Waluigi is Jar Jar Binks, whose slight following stemmed from a fan theory where he was the true antagonist of the Star Wars saga. Both of these characters were reimagined by external parties. Often these exaggerated portrayals are so well liked that it causes fans to forget about the negative feelings they had regarding the characters before. To expand upon this idea, often the introduction of a new easy target for a fan base causes them to look back on a previously disliked figure more fondly. An example I can pinpoint regarding Waluigi is his absence from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where two generic Toads were included as playable characters alongside Mario and Luigi, as opposed to anyone else from previous games in the series. At the time of its release, it was not uncommon for people to complain that Nintendo wasted the opportunity to at least include two characters with actual personalities, citing Waluigi and Wario as examples that could have made it to the cut. Likewise, when The Last Jedi came out, a vocal minority of the Star Wars fanbase turned their attention towards tearing into the character of Rose over Jar Jar. I could go even further by expanding the concept of a fandom desiring what they haven't got to story and gameplay ideas as well, but that's a topic for another video. One other justification I can add is that fans of these underdog characters who were children when the text was first released are now old enough to post their thoughts on the internet. For example, a child who grew up with Mario Tennis or the GameCube spin-offs might have found Waluigi to be an incredibly endearing character, just as older fans found Yoshi and Wario to be back in the early 90s. Waluigi isn't the only character in the series to receive a new outlook. There are several younger users who have also admitted their preference for Bowser Jr. over his predecessors, no doubt because they're more nostalgically attached to Sunshine over the likes of Mario Bros. 3, among other reasons. These positive thoughts on a character will create a snowball effect amongst others within their age group, causing them to vocally support that mindset. Thus, a vocal fandom is gained that's willing to defend the character at any turn. To summarise, while the character might be hated when they're first shown to the public, there's still time for them to gather a loyal fanbase. Even if it took roughly a decade, Waluigi was still able to achieve supporters thanks to a combination of reimaginings, poor alternatives, and a generation of users that weren't active in the gaming community to witness and become influenced by his original consensus. This can also be applied towards other characters throughout different mediums as well. Who knows, maybe in a few years' time, Alfred of all people might gain an ironic fandom thanks to internet memes and vocal fans of the Hobbit films. While I'm personally indifferent to Waluigi, seeing the fandom he's gathered over the years makes me hopeful for more vindications towards overhated characters in time to come, even if it will take 10 years or so to get there. What do you all think of Waluigi? Do you believe his fandom is warranted? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. As usual, feel free to correct me on any errors I've made, as well as provide feedback on the quality of the video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, check out our other content covering Pokemon and the Super Smash Bros. Series. Thank you for your time.